AITA for not wanting my husband's brother to be in the delivery room? I'm currently 31 weeks with twins. A boy and a girl. My husband and I are both 21. And we're trying for a baby for about a year before we fell pregnant. I've had a pretty rough pregnancy. And my brother-in-law is a medical student. So he's taken quite a lot of interest in my pregnancy and future delivery. We've always gotten on well. He's 24. I've known my husband's family since we were children, so we've pretty much grown up together. A few days ago, my husband told me that my Bill had expressed an interest in being there whilst I gave birth. Mainly due to it being beneficial from an educational standpoint to see a natural multiples birth. Which is what I'm planning for. I know things can change on that front, but hoping for that. Also so my husband can have support as I'll have my mom. Worth mentioning that our hospital doesn't have a restriction on the amount of people who can be in the delivery room. I said absolutely not. There is no way in hell I am allowing that. I'm not even overly keen on allowing my husband to watch me go through that. Let alone his brother. He said it'd be good experience for him and his degree, and I said that as much as I supported him. My experience of having a pleasant birth was my priority. He got defensive and said he should be allowed to have a support person too. Which I suppose I do understand. But I really just feel uncomfortable about it all. He said it was just as much his right as it was mine to have someone there to support him. It basically turned into a huge argument, with his brother and mom being dragged into it too. AITA? NTA, tell him that if he is willing to get naked, lay on the dining room table, grab his ankles, and let your dad stare at his asshole for an hour, then you will think about letting his brother in the delivery room. Birth is hard enough. Don't let him bully you into this. The only person who is important during birth is the one doing it, and as a doctor his brother should know that a patient's desires trump her extended family's. NTA. When he is pushing a baby out his vagina, then he can have a support person there. His job is support, not bringing in bystanders. NTA. And if he thinks he needs a support person for him, then he needs to not be in the delivery room. His logic doesn't make sense. If his Bill is there to support your hubby, then he won't be able to focus on learning. If his Bill is there to learn, then he won't be able to focus on supporting hubby. Please note that I am saying this as a father who was in the delivery room. You want as few people in the room as possible, to avoid getting in the way if something goes sideways. In addition, most doctors aren't keen on having a medical student who is also family there, because they might try to second-guess treatment and get in the way. If you really need an out, send a message to your birthing doctor and tell them to make a statement that they do not want anyone besides mom and dad in the room during the birth. NTA. You are not there to assist in your BIL's education. This is not a spectator sport. You are there to have a safe delivery of twins. Your husband needs a support person? WTH? He is supposed to be supporting you. Wow. I hope he manages to grow up before your delivery date. NTA. I wouldn't want my brother-in-law to see anything come out of my vagina. Talk about awkward. Your comfort is to be put above your BIL's need for experience. Your husband also doesn't need a support person, unless he is also having two actual humans come out of him. NTA. He will get enough experience with deliveries on his OB rotation. He doesn't need to see yours. NTA. Your husband is a raging dick for offering up your body and your genitals against your wishes and without your consent to his fucking brother. How creepy, gross, and disgusting. To be honest, I'd be pissssssssseed if I were you. I wouldn't even trust him to be in the birth room after that. I get the brother is a medical student and this is all probably clinical for him, but zero women want their husband's brother to stare into their genitals while they birth a baby for 30 hours. That is not a place for extended family at all, and only your comfort matters. You are the patient, not your husband. You will be giving birth, not your husband. You aren't a medical experience for him to offer up on a platter, and neither of these men have any respect for you as a human being. Your bill didn't even ask you if he could stare into your crotch. He asked your husband, like it's his decision to make. And your husband had the audacity to demand his brother gets to look at your genitals and treat you like a test subject against your will. Neither of these men care at all about your comfort or how horrible that experience would be to you. They both think they have some kind of ownership over and entitlement to your body against your will. You aren't your husband's property. His brother should not have asked him. He should have asked you. And you have the sole decision-making power over what men get to see you naked, get to see you in pain, get to be there while you have a medical event. Your husband needs to respect your no, because your birth is not about him or his creepy brother who wants to watch your vag while it births babies and doesn't even have the human decency to seek your approval for such an invasive and uncomfortable thing. He's not a doctor. And you aren't a medical cadaver. You're a human being, not a test dummy to be used. NTA. Your husband does not need a support person. He is not the one giving birth. He is the support person. You are the only one who gets a say in who is in that room. This is your medical procedure. Your husband needs to grow up and realize that this is not about him. He has to put you first, not his brother or himself. NTA. I'm a PA student. One more month to go. And if a patient asks to not see me or have me in the room, I'm happy to oblige. It's your medical care. You decide who is in the room. NTA. Stand your ground. If your bill makes you uncomfortable in the delivery room, that can cause complications. Your bill should know this as a medical student and respect your stance. I say this as an aspiring med student. If he cares more about his education rather than your health, then medicine is not the career for him. NTA. Birth is not a spectator sport. You are not an educational dummy for your bill. Multiple births are not so rare that he won't have another chance. Tell your doctor in no uncertain terms that you specifically do not want him in the room. NTA. WTF? Your husband is there to be a support person for you. If you want him there. You, the person who is birthing 2 human babies. To whine about him needing a support person is just him trying to weasel his brother in the room. For some unfathomable reason. Seriously. The day my husband tries to give his brother a front row seat to my vagina? I can't begin to imagine. He should be focusing on supporting you during this extremely intense experience that you'll be going through and on this huge moment in your lives, marriage, family. This is not the time to let his brother third wheel just because he might find it cool or interesting or educational. That's what medical school is for. Not the birth of your children. FFs. I'm floored that he would even ask. Never mind, make this the hill he's willing to die on. Please stand your ground and make it explicitly clear to all of the hospital staff you'll be interacting with exactly who is and who is not allowed in your room for the delivery. He said it was just as much his right as it was mine to have someone there to support him. Lol, nope. He is supposed to support you. Is he afraid he might faint? There are plenty of others in the room equipped to deal with heaving him on a couch. I didn't much care who was in there when I was squeezing mine out. The OB brought a whole damn tour of interns in at one point. And here is a textbook birth. You won't see many of these. Observe the dilation. What the fuck? But I'd have been thoroughly squicked at a Bill, who apparently hasn't done his OB rotation yet, staring at my distended bits while birthing. Shit was weird enough. And I had incredibly easy births. I would not want to be reminded that he saw this at every family dinner for the next several decades every time I had to ask him to pass the gravy. Okay. That's a no-go. Edit to add. Tell the hospital and your OB and the nurses in that ward, in person and in writing for their files. Bill is not allowed in your delivery room due to close familial connection. They will enforce it. NTA Your husband does not need support. He is supposed to be the support. He is just too entitled to decide who gets to see your private parts. Especially if that someone is not there for mainly support bit to look extra close because he is interested in the medical aspect. Your husband has to understand that he has absolutely no argument here. Maybe tell him he can't be there either if it is such a huge thing for him that he'd need support as well. NTA. Call the hospital and your OGBYN and let them know that under no circumstances should your Bill be allowed in the delivery room or near the babies. And if your husband continues to act like tell him that you won't let him in the room either. If he wants a support person, he can get that from the waiting room. What? Tell him he's perfectly within his rights to call his brother into the bathroom for support when he needs to do a monster shit. But that his priority in the delivery room is supposed to be supporting you. Not sitting over in the corner, needing support from yet another person. His focus is wrong. This is about getting you and the babies through a dangerous procedure. NTA. NTA. His school should be preparing him to be a doctor, not his SIL. His privates are not the ones that will be on full display front and center to a room full of people. So no. His right is not equal to yours. At this point he's lucky if he gets to be in the room at all. Any birth is a big deal. It's extremely stressful for the mother, which is dangerous for mom and baby. She needs to have everything focused on keeping her calm so she can do whatever she needs to bring baby into the world safely. And every single person in that room needs to be 100% focused on that. Full stop. That's without taking into account that this is both your first pregnancy and it's a multiple birth. And, for the record, most healthcare institutions don't allow family to treat family because it's a major conflict of interest. NTA. 100%. No questions. NTA. I am actually creeped out that your Bill even wants to be there. There is just something so wrong about it. You're the one who is about to have her vagina ripped apart while two humans shove their head and shoulders through it. What you say goes. Do not give in on this. Congratulations on having twins and I wish you a smooth labor and delivery. NTA. And no. It's not his right to have someone in your room while you are giving birth. And he needs a support person? Again. You're the one giving birth. You decide who is and is not allowed in the room. Not your husband.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.